Welcome to the storm of self-generation and magnetic purpose. As you look out at the world right now, especially during the energies of Mercury retrograde, which is not a regression, you're not going backwards, you were just given the opportunity to review your choices and commitments that were already made in determining whether they are working. But in this storm of self-generation and magnetic purpose, there is going to be a meeting of opposing forces. It's going to look like a flash mob. Pitchforks, torches, kind of an 8 of Wands energy, but it's not going to feel like it's going in your direction, right? One of my cards in my decks shows the 8 of Wands as torches, which is a lot of fire energy, but it is a lot of reaction. It is a lot of that mob mentality makes decisions without thought, without regard. They jump to conclusions, right? I get the view of Michael Jackson's Thriller with all of the zombies marching and the response of the mob with the pitchforks, because that also brings up Victor Frankenstein, right? So we have a lot of Frankensteins walking around and a lot of people with their pitchforks and their torches out. This is a clashing of the polarity and contrast, which is actually a co-creation. Remember that in an atom, there are 3 particles. There's the electron, which represents the negative charge. And in chemistry, negative responses, negative feedback systems actually shut off the system, and the system, those are the ones you want. Right? The electron is the one that interacts and engages with other atoms, so it would represent like the masculine force within our nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, the doer energy, the connecting energy. And then there's the proton, which is the positive charge. The proton is held within. So this is about your internal reactions, your internal state. I just had to pause it because the dogs are going off at everything today. This is actually my 5th or 6th attempt filming this. I've been on a really good flow 3 times, and they have just tore up the environment with their cacophony of sound. So definitely having a struggle getting this information out. The pitchforks, the mob, the noise, the distraction. So I was talking about the atoms, right? So I was talking about the proton, which is our inner reaction, our inner reactive force, okay? How are we reframing things within ourselves? Because this is a hall of mirrors. And we are in this liminal hallway where these flashes of light, these little sparks. I also see fire ants came out in the reading, right? Which are those things that annoy us and bother us. Like this morning, the dogs barking and interrupting my train of thought and good flow in a video. But these meeting of the different aspects of self become the flash mob. The meeting of the electron and the proton creating the forces, right? And how are we working with those energies as they seem to push and pull on each other? The third body, and we have a 3-body problem. The third body is the neutron. And that is the 0 point. That is what holds the atom together. It represents your values and your guiding points, your point of neutrality, your point of non-response, right? This would be your stoic center, your ability to remain still among the storm. And there is a sobering up that is being called at this time as we are seeing these energies, these meeting of forces, opposing forces, these mobs. There is a call to sober up, and this isn't just with addictions to physical substances like alcohol or tobacco or any of the other things that we become addicted to. It is our addiction to these identities, these visions for life that we have had. Today's word that came out a lot for me was incorruptibility. You have tasted what humanity refused to metabolize. You've gotten dirty. You have reacted when you should have responded. You have made the same mistakes that others have made. And as you are looking at what is occurring within the world, you probably found ways where you are treating people the same way, as objects to consume, to be used until they are used up and then discarded. Where do you hold those energies within yourself? You have metabolized this. You have seen where you react negatively and where you react positively, where your negative feedback systems allow you to have boundaries, like Ereshkigal, who is the goddess of the underworld, who, when her sister came to visit her, did not just allow her sister access because of relation, obligation, loyalty. She controlled access by making Inanna pass through 7 gates, where Inanna was stripped of her armor, her protections, until she stood before Ereshkigal nude. And this, to me, represents your own boundaries. Love is unconditional. Access is not. And so you have got your boundaries up. You have learned how to metabolize these energies within yourself and within others. And in this time of the meeting of the forces, you have an awareness of where your obsession feeds their obsession. These outside energies are dealing with obsession. You're going to see obsessions unravel around, right? We're looking at the world powers and how their obsessions and their corruptions have trickled out and are affecting all of us. And that these are the people we have chosen to govern us. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We are in a hall of mirrors. And this is leading to a sensation to need to eliminate and dissolve the shadows based on these fears. Who are these energies outside of us reminding us of within ourselves? Is it a used identity, a discarded history, or a secondhand life that you once lived? These different points of view that you are seeing outside of you or represented around you are points of you. The song from the Disney movie Sleeping Beauty comes up. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. So your obsessions feed their obsessions. So we are being called to look at what we are obsessing over. Our deepest desires constrain us. Again, because our desires are what call us to act. The electron and the proton, the reactive forces. But we are in a point of sobering up. We are no longer addicted to these old identities. We have grieved the identities we have lost. We have grieved the lives that we didn't get to live. So now we are sitting like Ereshkigal, stoic in our boundaries, that neutron, in our underworld, our inner world. We're no longer afraid of the shadows. And we understand that we didn't get out of this untouched by the world around us. But in being touched by the filth of the world and metabolizing it, we have become and learned how to be incorruptible. So today's energies are asking you to twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? Because all these other little points of light, these fragments of ourself that we are seeing reflected out in the world around us, are what create the flash mob. So you twinkle, twinkle, little star, in order to guide and light and be a lamp for the others. Understand that when you wish upon a star, meaning that's another song that's coming out, meaning that you have already manifested, you have done the work, you have metabolized. So your energies are put out into the world, and there is a trusting that they will come back to you and meet you. So you're being called to, by the nature spirits are calling you. They're all around you. They are asking you to understand the nature of all things, the cycles and the patterns, and to get back to what we know and learn about nature. For example, that when crustaceans, like a crab, grow and they become too large for their shell, their container, the structure, rules, and order that we operate within, the leadership, things that we allow to govern us, when they outgrow that, just like kid outgrowing their shoes, that old structure must crack open. And when it cracks open, the creature emerges soft-bodied, vulnerable, but with no less dignity. It doesn't approach the next phase in its life in fear. It goes about living knowing that it will regrow another shell and be armored. And it knows how to entrust itself to protect itself and take care of itself while it is vulnerable. Okay, so nature is calling you to look at the spirit of the cycles and patterns and what it has to teach you. Nature is simple. Nuance is the distraction. And that's what feeds the mob mentality, the group think. So the stagnant structures are falling around us. This is going to call for rapid adaptation for a lot of us. These are going to feel like uncomfortable upgrades as we align with expanding truth and liberation. The shell has to crack open and be removed. That is painful. So you are being asked at this time to choose clarity over urgency. Revisit your thoughts, your beliefs. When you feel the energy in motion, emotion rising, look at where it is leading you. Is it a reaction? Are you participating in a positive feedback system, which is like labor, which one reaction feeds the acceleration of the other, feeds the acceleration? Positive feedback systems are often not helpful in nature. We actually like the negative feedback systems where we, like Ereshkigal, Gal, have the ability to set the boundaries like a thermostat and turn off the heat. So it's calling you to choose clarity over urgency. You will be asked to adapt quickly, but do not move until you have clarity. Do not move at the pushing or compulsion of another. Make sure you are staying grounded and centered, because change doesn't ask permission. It begins the moment you decide. The moment you decide, the energy is cast out into the universe, and it will ripple back to meet you. For example, if you choose to be a healer, if you decide, I am a healer, and you claim that as an identity, the world will start sending you people who need healing. Your entire perspective will reshape itself around that identity, and you will start seeing the world as filled with ill people to heal. So, change doesn't ask permission. It begins the moment you decide. So where you're being called to anchor the energies, make them practical in practice. Right? What ways are you choosing you in practical everyday actions? Are you eating foods that support your body? Or are you continuing in patterns where you're filling it with junk? Okay. Mercury retrograde, understanding that Mercury retrograde is not regression. It is a review of the choices and commitments that you already made. How are they serving you? Are they working for you or not working for you? What is sustainable so that your next phase is clear? And this is the end of hustle. Because when you hustle, you're not doing the energy work. That is the distraction, right? So be really careful of those things that push you into urgency. Reconnect with nature. I'm looking over my notes to make sure I haven't skipped anything. You are entering a phase where your private transformation is now publicly visible. You cannot hide it anymore. You are seen and will be seen. You are becoming someone who cannot become erased by contact with the ick and ill of the world. So now what you are being asked to do, and what I have been shown, is what you are really being called to do, along with anchoring and grounding and practical practice, is to have the gentle reminder that you need beauty in your life. Romanticize your life. If what you see out in the world is filling you with shadow and fear and grief and distortion, bring love back in. Take yourself to a movie, buy that dress, buy those new shoes. Feed yourself well. How are you romanticizing yourself in your own life? You need more beauty in it. The energies right now are calling you to be your own true love. Because a lot of what is going on in the world right now, in this hall of mirrors and these fractal fragments of you that are being reflected back to you in what you see, is that if you aren't happy with what you are seeing, it is because you are not being the beauty that the world needs. You are not speaking from your truth. You are not radiating from your center. So twinkle, twinkle, little star. What the world needs most right now is you, your beauty, and your light. Gandhi didn't say, be the change. He said, you must be the change. So I challenge you today. What are you exchanging your value for? Is it worth it? Is it sustainable? Is it beautiful to you? Does it light, ignite, and excite you? Because if not, we're feeding the problem. Okay? Our obsessions feed their obsessions. So become obsessed with your beauty, your definition of value, your definition of principle, your definition of joy and fun and celebration. And in celebrating yourself, remember to celebrate the wins that you see in others. The more we celebrate ourselves and each other, the more we are feeding the change that will bring us all home. So remember, you are incorruptible. You are no longer an initiate. You are now functioning in the world. So be the light. Shine. Shine bright, little diamond. I love you.